Hey, numbers. Greetings, YouTube. I know I am super late with my thoughts and opinions on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show, but when you fall into a rabbit hole, sometimes it is hard to get out. And I actually didn't fall into the rabbit hole, I jumped into the rabbit hole feet first willingly. And it has been an adventure, and I'm not quite out yet, but I have some views and opinions about the halftime show, and I just want to add my views and opinions to the conversation. I have watched so many videos of reactions and I've learned so much, but I have a lot of questions. I may get a lot of things right and I may get a lot of things wrong, but we're going to get into it. First, I want to say disclaimer, copyright. I'm going to link the video I took the screenshots from. Okay, let's get into it. We started out with Samuel Jackson. I thought that was very catching for the audience. That was great to capture the audience attention with Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam. He's Uncle Sam for the culture, and he's playing Uncle Sam. And he also was that Uncle Ruckus type character in that movie. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, Uncle Sam, Samuel Jackson, he did a great job. He delivered his lines so well. I think that was just an awesome touch to the entire performance. And I also wanted to say I've heard a lot about people said this was the worst halftime show they ever seen. I wasn't big on Kendrick Lamar and really know who he was and not into rap so much, but I know rap. Kendrick Lamar was in the last halftime show, but that wasn't my favorite part of the halftime show. But I looked up Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer Prize, and I'm like, okay, that means he is smart. So let's give him a chance. So I found out about this beef between him and Drake. So I went into the rabbit hole about the beef. Drake is supposed to be this alleged colonizer and a person who likes tender children. So that was a whole thing that I went down. But anyway, this red button, the Super Bowl, this picture here is a great symbol. That was a great symbol of the red button. Drake said he was going to push on Kendrick. And I also learned that Kendrick's name is K Dot. Okay, K Dot actually has the red button now. And this Super Bowl was him pushing that button. Wow. There was a lot online about people didn't like the halftime show and didn't understand what Kendrick was saying, and I didn't understand what a lot of things he was saying either. But the beats had your head bopping, and really, that's how you really get into it. And for some people, I don't even think they wanted to understand. They just didn't even give it a chance. I also think Kendrick laid this out in a manner where it reminded me of you have symbols to get to the Underground Railroad, and only the people who were going to the Underground Railroad knew the symbols, and everybody else just thought it was a regular sheet hanging on the line. So he got a lot of symbols in here and messages, and it's just very layered and genius and creative. And I'm just so proud of him, which is another reason why I'm making this video. I feel like a proud mama or a proud auntie. Kendrick, you did that. People also complain because he didn't play all his major hits, but I wouldn't know one hit from another. So if I was Kendrick and I was introducing myself to millions of people who've never heard of me and don't know who I am, him going with this Gen X references, and he really struck me. That's my generation, so he got me. Oh, excuse me if I ramble. I didn't write out a script. And I also wanted to say this is my first voiceover video. So I'm going to see how this comes out in editing. Anyway, the show starts out with Kendrick Lamar, and I want to say That was a great opening with the car, the GNX car. I learned that. Why did he start in that kneeling position on the car? I want to know. That's one of the questions I had. Why did he start in that kneeling position? And this next shot, our focus was on the ring, the gloves. What was the symbol of the gloves? Was that from Meet the Grams? But the ring on his pinky finger, oh my goodness, I just looked at that, looked like $1 million. That ring really caught my eye. That was awesome. The next thing that caught my eye were the women in red. The women, I think the people in red to me symbolized that they were the fighters. And I'm wondering why the women were in red at that time. And then you'll notice in some other instances, the people in red are going to be males. So I wanted to know why were is the red people symbol fighters, and why were some of them women and why some of them were men? Okay, the next thing that caught my attention obviously was the flag, how the people were, the bodies were in the red, white, and blue, creating the flag with Kendrick in the middle. I love that symbolism very much. I love that Kendrick always represents the USA and his culture. Another question I had is, are those prison jumpsuits the men are wearing? The ones in white definitely remind me of Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Okay, in this next picture, I was focused on Kendrick's chain. Everyone has been talking about the A for A minor, and the A represents the PG Lang. Also, I learned PG Lang is the production company or something that Kendrick is a part of with his partner, Dave Free, which is also a genius. But anyway, when I looked at the chain, I seen riches, diamonds, and I feel like this chain probably cost like $3 million. Between that ring and that chain, probably was worth more than everything else he had on. By the way, I also wanted to say Gen A, Gen Z. I think that those pants Kendrick were wearing, that jacket, and that hat is going to be somewhere in somebody's museum. Hip hop museum, somebody's museum. Please leave it in the comments. I think that's going to be epic. Obviously, I can't talk about everything I've seen, heard, and learned about this Super Bowl because I would be here all day. But the next thing I want to talk about is the people on the light poles. I was told that there was a person on each of the 6 light posts. Were those real G's up there on those light poles? Or did Kendrick just put stuffed dummies up there on the light pole? And I also wanted to know if the whole thing represented a prison yard. It looked like a street to me, but maybe it does represent a prison yard. If those were real people up there and their whole job was to sit up there for the whole show, that's just mind blowing to me. I mean, that is an awesome job, and your job is probably just as important as the dancers on the floor. But to be up there for the whole show, that's just and what is the symbol of the people up on the light post? Are they watching over everyone? They holding it down? Kendrick, I know you probably won't tell us this, and you just need to keep us guessing. And it's going to be Easter eggs throughout this show for time to come, and people are going to be talking about it and talking about it. But if somebody know what do those people up there on that pole represent, please let me know. Now we go to the people in the white. They're in the X now. I don't know. Tell me what the X represents. But the people in white are the ancestors. I'm not sure, but it was more white people than anything. So, what do the people in white represent? Does anybody know? On this part right here, I like the fact that Kendrick, when he wanted to make a move, he went and consulted with the sisters. He consulted with the divine feminine first. And then, before he made the move, he stopped and went back and thought about it. I really like that. And when he wanted to slow it down, he asked the sisters, could they slow it down for him? That was just awesome to me and very symbolic. This is another reason why I think the people in white are the ancestors. Also because the men, when he was singing at the pole, the men behind him were also in white. And the next thing, I know the whole thing was supposed to be a game controller with the circle, the X, the square, oh, and triangle. The triangle is actually upside down, and I know that has to be on purpose. I think the triangle, upside triangle, is tapping into divine feminine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which brings me to the meat of what I wanted to talk about. Everybody has talked a lot about Serena because she crip walked on Drake's grave, but people also have to realize that Serena got fined for crip walking back when she was a tennis pro. But SZA, that was the best part for me because when SZA took the stage, obviously I could understand what was being said, and they also tapped into another beat from Generation X when they start Luther. I was into that. But I just want to talk about the divine feminine for a minute. If you'll notice, when SZA enters the scene, she is also down on the ground. Why is SZA in this position? I wanted to know. All I could see was that triangle again. I think she's in that position to form a triangle with her legs. I also think there's some symbolism to the people in blue that are her dancers. What do the people in blue symbolize? Why did SZA get the people in blue? I also want to talk about SZA's outfit. She is red hair, red from head to toe. I think more than, because it's not symbolizing the Bloods. People always want to say the blue is the Crips, the red is the Bloods. I think SZA is wearing red to represent blood, life-giving blood, and the blue dancers, they are the veins. I feel like SZA is in the middle of the divine feminine giving us life. Okay, I really like this frame because in this scene we have our sexy little mommy chopping it up with our strong big daddy. They are in the womb giving us life. And then when they end, this struck to me, SZA is back on the ground in a humble position with Kendrick standing looking over her. I think, well, obviously, she can be on the ground because she ate and left no crumbs, but it's really symbolic that the dancers and SZA did not move out of their position until Big Daddy K. Dot walked off and headed towards the circle. Why he chose the circle now, I wanted to know too. What is the symbol of the circle? Big Daddy heads over to the circle and then they start playing the Black Panther song, which is everybody knows and loves. So that was really good. Once he get over there and do his part, once again enters SZA. She come now after she has ate and left no crumbs. Now she's coming over here and she kills it. Baby girl kills it. If you'll notice in this photo, SZA is leaning back. It reminds me of the Diana Ross pose, triumph at the end of the song. But if you'll notice, SZA is leaning so far back with her back arched in a manner where she is showing her belly button. If you would notice, all of these dancers are covered from head to toe. No tatas showing, no behind showing. But all of the women have cutoffs on, revealing their bellies. And now SZA has leaned all the way back, and I think it's on purpose. This young generation needs to learn that less is more. This is our Janet Jackson nip slip of this generation. She has leaned all the way back with that just little glimpse of her belly button. So sexy, and I think it symbols something. I don't know if it symbols life, but if anybody know or if anybody think there is something to this, please let me know in the comments. Why does SZA have to lean back so far and reveal her belly button? Okay, now we at the point of the show, what most people would say was the highlight of the whole Super Bowl show. The sisters asked Kendrick, "You really about to do it?" And they asked him twice to make sure that he's sure he want to do this. And once he's sure, they tell him to get on it like that. And once that beat dropped, that's all she wrote. I loved it so much. I also loved the fact that the men were slapping each other five when they was in the circle going around, and they were saying, step this way, step this way. I love that the men were slapping each other five. And I wondered, what did that mean? Was that just togetherness or just creative choreography? And then next, I was wondering, they yelled, mustard! And this guy came out. Okay, I didn't know who he was, but I was thinking, okay, he must be somebody important. Okay, I find out he is DJ Mustard. DJ Mustard is responsible for the beat. And I'm telling you, that is a rocking beat he did for that Not Like Us. That is an excellent beat. So he gets a lot of credit for that. And kudos to K-Dot for bringing him out, you know, showing that the man behind the music is also Mustard. Every time I see or think about Mustard, I'm going to think about Mustard. And finally, we get to the end of the show, and this is just a symbol of all the hard work and creativity and all the people that worked on this show. I just think it was just an awesome halftime show. And this next photo of Kendrick, another Gen X reference. Kendrick remind me of that Sylvester and Tweety, that cat that used to chase the canary. That shit-eating grin he has reminds me of the cat who swallowed the canary. He is just so cute and so genius. And Kendrick, I just love you so much now. I just have to say, I'm a fan. But not that kind of fan, but I am a fan. And the final shot is game over. That's supposed to be a signal to Drake, but I also heard that people actually stopped watching after the Super Bowl and viewership went down because people thought the game was actually over. But great symbolism, and that's my time, y'all. Peace. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Peace.